Hello and welcome to Galaxy Primetime News. My name is Nenwar Gimasaka. I will begin with the headlines. The Situation Room of the People's Democratic Party berates the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) over moving the collation of results to the INEC headquarters. The Vice President, Kashim Shettima, departs Abuja for the United States to attend the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly. On the foreign scene, Israeli soldiers raid Al Jazeera's bureau in Ramah in the occupied West Bank, orders the Doha-based news network to shut down operations. Details of these and more will come to you shortly. Do stay with us. And now the news in full. The resident electoral commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Edo State, Dr. Anubam Onoha, has given the commission pass mark over the conduct of Saturday's governorship election. The REC made this known while speaking with journalists at his office in Benin City, the Edo State capital. He scored the commission over 90% for the performance, as he cited the peaceful atmosphere.
The turnout until they announced it, I don't have the figure now. Okay. So it will be inappropriate for me to actually say the turnout was low. There's some areas the turnout was actually heavy. But you can question God. You can't question God that there was rain today. That is the one thing we cannot control. But everything worked for good for those who believe. We don't know why the rain decided to fall today. But the most important thing is that those people who are serious, to vote, they voted. There was no problem of Viva did not capture me, this, that, all of them, especially the candidates. All of them voted.
He blamed the early morning downpour for the low turnout of voters experienced in some parts of the state.
Assessment is that we have 92%. We had some hitches, some areas did not start early, and that was why the commission in their wisdom extended the voting period to allow every voters to vote. I thank the commission for doing that, for being wise to take that decision. I commend the chairman and the members of the commission.
And still on the Edo election, the Situation Room of the National Campaign Council of the People's Democratic Party, led by the Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki, his Adamawa and Taraba counterpart, has berated the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) over what they described as illegally moving the collation of results to the INEC headquarters. This was made known during a media briefing at the headquarters of the Situation Room at the Government House in Benin City, the Edo State capital. According to the Edo State Governor, his visit to the INEC headquarters in the early hours of today was to seek information on the collation of results, which INEC REC failed to produce. On his part, the Adamawa State Governor, Amadu Fintiri, and the candidate of the PDP in Edo State, Asiu Gudalu, termed the collation exercise as illegal amid alleged shooting by thugs of the opposition party.
Got in there about 2 a.m. I did not see any collation taking place, and the REC refused to come out to explain what the situation was. Subsequently, the DIG police, Frank Kumba, then came in and had a meeting with me where I explained that if INEC was postponing or stopped the collation process, then as part of their rules, they should inform the public or the citizens what next. As at 3 a.m., there was no information.
The collation process was violently interrupted in several local government areas across the state. In Edo South local government, collation process was stopped in Oredo and Okpabaha and Ego, and moved illegally to the state headquarters of the State Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Benin on the instruction of the Assistant Inspector General of Police, in complete breach of the statutory collation process.
At every point, you find APC and their thugs supported by people dressed as security agents going to shoot at polling agents and disrupt processes. This is not acceptable in the 21st century, definitely not in Nigeria.
The People's Democratic Party in Edo State is calling on the Independent National Electoral Commission to review the just concluded election before its final announcement. The party chairman, Tony Azigbemi, at a press briefing in Benin City, noted that it became imperative following the alleged discrepancies that marred the poll. He said that the results announced in most of the local government showed it was skewed in favor of the All Progressive Congress, while noting that the provisions of the Electoral Act were not followed. He called on the electoral umpire to do the needful.
The point we want to make in this press conference is drawing the attention of the INEC chairman and the commission to the massive irregularities we've noticed from our preliminary analysis of what is going on. There's a provision in the Electoral Act that mandates INEC, that gives INEC the power to review results before they are authenticated. They're supposed to authenticate the results. So this press conference, this release, is to request that INEC goes through what we are saying and do a review before the final collation and the final announcement and the final declaration of the results for the Edo State governorship election.
Meanwhile, some supporters of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Uridi local government area of Edo State and a right activist have taken their protest to the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) in Benin City, the Edo State capital, over the announced Edo governorship election result. The protesters, who stayed about 100 meters away from the INEC headquarters as a result of the presence of security personnel, were singing solidarity songs as they called for the cancellation of the result announced. Some of the protesters were seen cooking at the Ramat Park Junction close to INEC headquarters as they called for the cancellation of the election result. A right activist blamed the electoral umpire INEC for alleged bias as a female protester was seen lamenting the impact of vote buying by the opposition party in the state.
And as good citizens of this state, we say no. White women came out to vote yesterday on that road. Pensioners came out. The cripple came out. And it was clearly revealed after collection on Ireland that the candidate, Aswa Igodalo, won the election.
Every 4-1 away, those states wrong away. APC wrong Gary. They no go see am. We know the future buy Gary. We know the school fees na a problem. We want the money to pay. APC they use 20,000, 10,000. Then they buy vote for units, for polling units. But they buy people hats. They don't see the vote. They use that they carry different people. They buy 10,000, 20,000, 15,000.
The Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room on the Edo governorship election has asserted that late arrival of materials and INEC members of staff was conspicuous in the just concluded governorship election in the state. This was disclosed by the co-convener of the Situation Room, Mimido Achakpa, while briefing journalists their findings after elections. According to him, the Situation Room witnessed late arrival of materials, while many ad hoc staff refused to sleep at the various centers as a result of the fear of being attacked.
Many other locations, most officials and material have not arrived as at 9 a.m. For example, only units 7 and 8, Worker Secondary School, Ward 10, Agro LGA, were among those affected. Further, at the Super Registration Area Center, Super Rack,
You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News, and coming up next. We are glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share a story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. At the behest of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Vice President Kashim Shettima has departed Abuja for the United States to attend the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly Yunga. Stanley Nkocha, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications Office of the Vice President, in a statement recalled that President Tinubu had directed the Vice President to lead the Nigerian delegation to the high-level global forum, while he focuses on addressing pressing domestic issues, including the recent devastating flood disaster. Nkocha said during the session, Vice President Shettima will deliver Nigeria's national statement, participate in key meetings on the sidelines of the event, and engage in bilateral meetings. The high-level general debate themed "Leaving No One Behind, Acting Together for the Advancement of Peace, Sustainable Development and Human Dignity for Present and Future Generations" is scheduled to take place from September 24 to September 28, 2024. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mamman, has demonstrated Nigeria's commitment to transformative education by participating in the prestigious Ministerial Leadership Forum at Harvard University. The event, hosted by Harvard Kennedy School Center for International Development, focused on getting to equity and skill in successful education programs as part of the Global Education and Research Unleashing Potential initiative. This high-profile program brought together 23 ministers from various countries to explore strategies for recognizing successful educational initiatives and ensuring equitable access for students worldwide. During his presentation at Harvard, Professor Mamman shared insight on Nigeria's educational reform effort, emphasizing the importance of infusing originality, communication, and digital skills into school curricula from primary to secondary levels. He finalized an action plan to implement his legacy goals for the sector while discussing with them at Harvard faculty. Nigeria's Defense Minister Mohammed Badaru Abubakar says Nigerians need to continue the spirit of patriotism, unity and resilience for a better nation. Badaru made the appeal at the 38th anniversary dinner of the Nigerian Defense Academy NDA 38th regular course held in Kaduna. The minister was represented by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, who reiterated that these are challenging times for Nigeria with the evolving threat to our national security, while congratulating the members of the course on the momentous occasion of the 28th anniversary. Badaru explained that 38 years of service to the nation's sacrifice and leadership in the armed forces were no small feat. According to the minister, NDA has long been a beacon of excellence in military training, instilling the values of courage, discipline and honor in all its graduates. Other dignitaries at the 38th regular course anniversary celebration says their legacy lives on in the courage and resolve with which they continue to defend the nation even after retirement.
The Nigerian Defense Academy has long been a beacon of excellence in military training, instilling the values of courage, discipline and honor in all its graduates. As we gather here to celebrate the journey of the 38th regular course, we must also reflect on the immense contributions we have made, not just to our military institution, but to the very security and stability of Nigeria. Many of us have gone on to serve in various high-ranking capacities, both within and outside of the Nigerian Armed Forces, showcasing the high standard of leadership that this academy has always championed. We also honor those who are no longer with us, our fallen heroes. I think we have about 31 in number. I think in Liberia we paid the highest price.
Offers you opportunities. It offers opportunities to reconnect with former mates, and of course, you continue to communicate better when you are able to reconnect.
We, the civilian communities, must continue to support the military at all times, because the military is the only institution that is keeping this country going. Other supportive institutions that are also doing the same thing are the police, the customs, the immigration, the civil defense, and many others.
The Nigerian Armed Forces says that the objective of the Armed Forces Games 2024, scheduled to take place in Kaduna, is to select a team that will be representing Nigeria during the forthcoming African Military Games in Abuja. Speaking at a press conference in Kaduna, the Director of Sport Defense Headquarters, who is also the Chairman Organizing Committee for the Armed Forces Games 2024, AVM Abidemi Marcu, said 1,600 athletes would compete during the Armed Forces Games in Kaduna. He said the Games will begin from 23rd to 27th of September in Kaduna, with the theme Enhancing Military Professionalism Through Sport.
So we know that coming to Kaduna during this period, we also impact positively on the economy of Kaduna. At present, we have 1,600 athletes now from the Army, Navy, and Air Force. They are in camp in Kaduna. So all these athletes, they are going to engage with, aside from the sporting activities they are going to engage in, they are also going to engage in some one form of economic activities or the other.
He explained that 19 sporting events will be competed for, adding that the Organization of African Military Sport gave Nigeria the hosting right to host African Military Games 2024 in Abuja.
About 3,000 athletes and officials are coming to Abuja during this period. An additional one country, Tanzania, they send their preliminary entry. So as of today, we have 43 countries that have sent their entries. Preliminary entries will close by the end of this month. So we are still expecting more African nations to show interest for coming.
We'll now go on a quick break, and when we return, the news continues. Just stay with us. We're glad to have you back. Now we'll quickly go through Tracking the Week.
Welcome to Tracking the Week. On Monday, the former Accountant General and Finance Commissioner during Nasir El-Rufai's administration in Kaduna State, Shizer Joy Nasara Bada, has been arrested by ICPC at a Lagos airport. Bada was reportedly attempting to flee the country when ICPC operatives apprehended her, raising suspicions of a potential escape in light of mounting corruption allegation. The arrest is part of a broader crackdown on officials from El-Rufai's administration, with several figures now under scrutiny for their roles in the financial management of the state. While specific allegations against Bada remain undisclosed, insiders believe they are connected to large-scale financial irregularities, including the mismanagement of public funds and alleged embezzlement. The ICPC has that more high-profile arrests would follow as investigations continue into the financial conduct of key officials during El-Rufai's tenure. Also on Monday, parents of students of Lagos State Model Senior College staged a protest against increment in the school boarding fee. The announcement of increase of model schools boarding fee from 35,000 to 100,000 was seen as a way to make life completely unbearable for low-income parents whose wards attend the model schools. Protesting parents blocking the gate of Lagos State Model Senior College in Mero in Alimosho local government area, the parent forum said the increment, which was done without their input, is a violation of the earlier agreement. They said the government did not consider the economic status and the current economic situation in the country before making such a decision. After the meeting with the House Committee on Education at Lagos State House of Assembly, it was resolved that parents should go ahead and pay the owed 35,000 naira for this time. On Tuesday, President Bola Tinubu condoled with members and leaders of the Tijaniya movement in Nigeria over the death of 40 members killed in an auto crash on Sunday. The victims were on their way to Kwandari in Plateau State to a Maulud Nabi celebratory event in Seminaka, Kaduna State, when the bus collided with the truck at Laritan of Kaduna State. Bayo Ononuga, special advisor to the President, Information and Strategy, in a statement said President Tinubu condoled with the families of the dead and injured and with the governments of Kaduna and Plateau States. Ononuga said the President prayed for the repose of the souls of the departed and directed FRSC to improve highway monitoring to reduce number of road accidents nationwide. Also on Tuesday, residents in Pape community and Abuja suburban Buhari area council in the FCT are now living in fear following a mini earth tremor noticed in a section of the community going into the third day. Pape is situated less than 10 minutes from Abuja Eyebrow district of Maitama. It's densely populated with many low earners as well as the middle class among its residents. Residents who spoke to journalists disclosed that the earth tremor experience, accompanied with a devastating sound, was first noticed on Saturday, continued on Sunday, as well as Monday. The situation is well noted around areas like PW Neighborhood and Mopo 24 Barracks, two areas sandwiched by the lowly single roads that leads into the community. It has also been heard around Katampe Junction, the area linked with the Moritila Mohammed Expressway. Some of the residents claim the buildings shake whenever the movements take place, causing fear in minds of the residents. On Wednesday, former Kogi State Governor Yaya Bello honored the invitation of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) relating to charges against him while he was in office. Bello arrived at the EFCC headquarters in Abuja in company of his successor Usman Ododo. Bello, who has been declared wanted over allegations of money laundering and corruption involving a staggering 80.2 billion naira, finally honored the EFCC's invitation, arriving with several prominent politicians and APC stalwarts. In a statement from Bello's media office, he confirmed that he accepted the invitation after consulting with his family, legal team and political allies, asserting that he has nothing to hide. This development comes after a history of resistance from Bello, who has previously evaded multiple EFCC invitations and faced a dramatic scene at his Abuja residence. Meanwhile, EFCC says Yaya Bello is not in any of the Commission's facility. This was contained in a press statement issued by Head of Media and Publicity, Dele Oyiwale, on Wednesday. Still on Wednesday, the federal government let Nigerians of the water release from Lagdo Dam in Cameroon. The federal government made this known in a press statement signed by the Director General, Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency, Umar Mohammed. The statement noted that the authorities of the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon will initiate controlled water releases starting from Tuesday, September 17, 2024. It said the water discharge is anticipated to progressively escalate to 1,000 miles cubed per square over the next 7 days under inflow from the upstream Garo River, which serves as a primary source into the reservoir and a significant tributary to the Benue River. Nonetheless, the dam operators have indicated that the planned water discharge will be gradual to avoid surpassing the conveyance capacity of the Benue River system and triggering substantial flooding downstream in Nigeria. On Thursday, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) commenced the distribution of sensitive materials and the Bimodal Voter Accreditation System (BVAS) to the 18 council areas of Edo State. The exercise, which started as early as 8 a.m. at the CBN headquarters in Benin City, the state capital, amid heavy downpour, saw the political parties' representatives checking to ensure orderliness. Policemen from the State Police Command headquarters, as well as plainclothes policemen, were on ground to prevent a breakdown of law and order as journalists scrambled to get a glimpse of the materials. The other resident electoral commissioner, Dr. Anungum Onoha, supervised the exercise as vehicles were seen taking materials to different local government areas under the supervision of the Special Police Unit. Still on Thursday, the Court of Appeal in Abuja granted requests of the federal government and former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Samuel Nkano Walter Onoge, to settle out of court an appeal challenging his removal as CGN. The decision of the court followed information to the effect that the two parties in the suit have intensified effort to reach an amicable settlement of all issues in dispute. Correspondent Kole Ojo reports that at the proceeding in the appeal, lead counsel to the former CGN, Dr. Ongo James Onoja, informed the three-man panel of justices of the appeal court that the two parties are already having discussions on a peaceful resolution of the dispute. Onoja informed the court that the parties had an engagement up until Wednesday, September 18, and expressed optimism that the discussion would bear fruitful result. The senior lawyer subsequently appealed to the appellate court for 1 month adjournment to find a settlement of the matter. On Friday, ahead of the September 21st governorship election in Edo State, the Inspector General of Police restricted vehicular movement between the hours of 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on election day. Addressing journalists, the police command headquarters in Benin, Force PRO Miyiwa Adejobi, said the restriction covers both land and sea, stating a strict compliance and enforcement. He said the IGP had ordered the demobilization and the activation of orderlies protecting personnel on election day. The Force PRO also said special attention will be given to persons with disabilities and special needs. Lastly, on Friday, the Central Bank of Nigeria says it has temporarily withdrawn the monetary credit for and exchange policy guidelines for fiscal years of 2024 to 25 document published on Tuesday, September 17, 2024. It said the revocation of the document is to minimize risk of any further misinterpretation or misrepresentation, resulting in confusion among stakeholders. It disclosed this in a news statement published on its website on Friday. The new release was, however, not signed by any CBN official. On Tuesday, excerpts of the policy document stated that the bank will sustain its ways and means advances to the federal government at a 5% limit for the fiscal years 2024 to 25, contrary to a bill passed by National Assembly which raised the maximum borrowing percentage in the Act from 5% to 10%. Another controversial excerpt was the reinstatement of the cybersecurity levy, which was earlier suspended early this year due to serious public backlash. While refuting these claims, the CBN said the guidelines were misunderstood by some outlets as new policies when they are a compilation of previously issued policies and directives effective until December 31st, 2023. And that's it on Track in the Week.
And I'll move over to the foreign desk for more news.
This is news from the international scene. Israeli soldiers have raided Al Jazeera's bureau in Ramallah in the occupied West Bank and ordered the Doha-based news network to shut down operations amid a widening Israeli crackdown on media freedom. Heavily armed and masked Israeli soldiers forcefully entered the building housing Al Jazeera's bureau and handed the 45-day closure order to the network's West Bank bureau chief Walid Al-Umari early on Sunday. Al-Umari said the Israeli military's closure order accused the network of incitement to and support of terrorism. Al Jazeera's Jafar Buderi said Israeli forces used tear gas in the vicinity of Al Jazeera bureau and Al-Manara Square in the heart of the occupied West Bank city. She added that Israeli soldiers confiscated the cameras. Buderi said she feared the military might try to destroy Al Jazeera's archives, which are stored in the office. Israeli military vehicles left Ramallah after the raid. Speaking over the phone from Ramallah, Al Jazeera's Nida Ibrahim said the West Bank raid and the closure order comes as no surprise after the earlier ban on reporting from inside Israel. An explosion caused by a gas leak at a coal mine in eastern Iran has killed at least 51 people, state media said on Sunday. More than 20 others were injured after the blast in South Khorasan province. It is reported to have been caused by a methane gas explosion in 2 blocks of the mine in Tabriz, 540 kilometers southeast of the capital Tehran. The explosion occurred at 9 p.m. local time on Saturday, state media said. South Khorasan's governor said there were 69 workers in the block at the time of the explosion. According to newsmen, he said there was an explosion and unfortunately 69 people were working in the B and C blocks of Mandanjo mine. In Block C, there were 22 people. In Block B, there were 47 people. It remains unclear how many people are still alive and trapped inside the mine. State media has now revised its earlier total of 30 dead. The number of dead workers increased to 51 and the number of injured increased to 20, the official news agency reported. Citing the head of Iran's Red Crescent, State TV said early on Sunday that 24 people are missing. According to newsmen, Iranian president expressed condolences to the victims' families. Local prosecutor Ali Nisai was quoted by state media saying gas accumulation in the mine has made such operations difficult. At least 4 people have been killed and 18 injured in mass shooting in Birmingham, Alabama, police say. Multiple shooters fired multiple shots on a group of people late on Saturday in the 5 Points South area of the city, Birmingham police officer Truman Fitzgerald said. Officers found the body of 2 men and 1 woman at the scene, while a 3rd man later died of bullet wounds in hospital. Birmingham police said. Detectives are investigating whether the gunmen walked up to the victims or drove by. No suspects have been arrested. He added that they believe the shooting was not random and stemmed from an isolated incident where multiple victims were caught in the crossfire. Detectives are working to identify who was the intended target or targets of the attack. Fitzgerald also said 5 Points District is known for its nightlife. The shooting occurred on Magnolia Avenue, Fitzgerald said. Witnesses who were queuing outside the Hookah and Cigar Lounge in Magnolia Avenue at the time told local news site that some of the gunfire sounded as though it came from a gun converted to be fully automatic. Early on Saturday, Fitzgerald told reporters there were dozens of gunshot victims after the incident. Still on the international scene, Kenya is pledged to send 600 more police officers to Haiti in the coming weeks to fight against gang control in much of the capital, Port-au-Prince and nearby areas. This would bring the Kenyan contingent deployed incrementally since June to help the Caribbean nation's police force up to 1,000. During a visit to the country, Kenya's President William Ruto also said he supported turning the current Kenya-led security mission into a full United Nations peacekeeping operation. A handful of other countries have together pledged at least 1,900 more troops. Violence in Haiti is still rife, and a UN human rights expert has warned that gangs are targeting new areas, causing further displacement. the UN Security Council is due to meet by the end of the month to decide whether to renew Kenya's current mandate for another 12 months, paving the way for a full UN mission in 2025. This would lead to increased funding and resources for the operation, which has been hampered by lack of equipment. Addressing the Kenyan police officers at their base in Port-au-Prince, President Ruto commended the force for their successes over the last few months. He said they would succeed against the gangs and he promised to try to get them better equipment. The nearly 400 Kenyan officers on the ground were going out on patrol, working hand in hand with Haitian forces to protect the people and restore security, Ruto said. The far right could be on the brink of its first election victory in a state known as the bastion of Germany's Social Democrat. Brandenburg, close to Berlin, has been governed by Chancellor Olaf Scholz's center-left Social Democratic Party ever since German reunification. But 2 million voters are heading to the poll on Sunday for a tightly fought regional election that Alternative for Deutschland stands a chance of winning. It would add to AfD's recent election successes and prove a major embarrassment for Scholz, who lives in the state's capital, Potsdam. Such a result, while far from certain, would further cast doubt on Scholz's ability to lead the party into next year's federal elections, where he hopes for a second term despite a slump in his approval ratings. The AfD became the first far-right party to win a state election in Germany since World War II in the eastern state of Thuringia. On 1st September, it came in our second in Saxony on the same day. The group, officially classified extremist in some states, would be unlikely to enter regional government if it were to win in Brandenburg, as every other party has refused to work with it. Polls close in Brandenburg at 6 p.m. and the first exit polls and preliminary projections will be announced as soon as voting ends. The AfD did not win a majority in Thuringia or Saxony and is unlikely to do so in Brandenburg either. Lastly, on the international scene, for the first time in the country's history, Sri Lanka's presidential election has gone into a second round of counting. After no single candidate won more than 50% of the vote, the Election Commission will now account for the second and third choices for president. People were asked to mark up the three candidates in order of preference during the election. The first round, which saw the counting of people's primary choice of candidate, had Anura Kumara Dissenyake, a leftist politician, in the lead with 42.31%. Opposition leader Sijith Premadasa is in the second place with 32.76%. In a press conference, the Election Commission said all other candidates, apart from Dissenyake and Premadasa, have been eliminated. The eliminated candidate's ballot will be checked to see if secondary or third preferential votes were given to the two front-runners to be declared the winner. Sri Lanka's election law says the candidates must win 50% plus a single vote. The election on Saturday was the first to be held since mass protest unseated the country's leader Gotabaya Rajapaksa in 2022 after the country suffered its worst economic crisis. All of Sri Lanka's 8 presidential elections since 1982 have seen the winner emerge during the first round of counting. This poll has been described as one of the closest in the country's history. And that's it from the international scene.
Information coming in, INEC declares APC's Monday Ikpobolo as the winner of Edo State 2024 governorship off-cycle election. APC lead in 11 local government area with a total vote of 291,667, and the PDP coming closing after winning 7 local government areas with a total of 247,274 votes, and Labour Party coming third with 22,361 votes. However, PDP's agent at the Collation Centre called for a cancellation of the election results due to what he termed as manufactured vote from INEC, and lots of irregularities accompanied the electoral process, like BVA's malfunction, elections not taking place in some local government areas due to missing ballot boxes, and interference caused by rain, and so on. Congratulations to the people of Edo State. More details will roll in tomorrow. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTVNews. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share a story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 018-666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live update and comment, as you can easily scan